So there's certain things that develop. Like I said, now I'm not saying that. I'm just telling you my life as far as how I got to do it by being wealthy. Mm-hmm. But people that don't have money do it on a more advanced level for the simple fact is they got to use their imagination. You know what I'm saying? As far as the children and stuff like that. Nevertheless, because this thing all started with parents putting the children out the house or the children wanting to leave, but out the house early. But I remember growing up, and all the old people used to say this. They say, boy, you better quit being grown. Because, is this thing on?
Yeah, it's on.
I'm trying to see, is it on?
Yeah, it's on.
It's got a big, okay. They say, boy, you better quit being grown, because when you get grown, you're going to wish you was a child again. They used to say that all the time. Old people used to say that all the time.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? They used to say that all the time. When you get grown, you're going to wish you was a child again. I never could understand that and stuff like that, but what they was meaning was, this is the time when you're supposed to be feeling and figuring out what it is to be a child, and all what it's supposed to be in this formative years, and you trying to be grown. So you're not developing. Now, you're not developing. So, I know some people, when they have a traumatic experience, early, somebody get raped, molested, that something gets cut short.
That's true.
Something gets cut short in an interruption in their childhood. And some people never, it take them years to grow up, and some people never grow up. You see what I'm saying? I know some people, they had an interruption in their childhood. It was so severe until there's a time delay on their thought process. They have no thought process whatsoever. They only go based on emotions and feeling. And too often that's a reactionary thing.
Yeah.
And if they would have just took time to think about it a few minutes before, they wouldn't have dare done it.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You see, there's a time delay on the analytical process. You see what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It's almost like this. Let's say you in a rapper's battle, and the shit is freestyle. If you got a time delay on your analytical process, you can't get in no fucking battle, because you got to be quick.
Right.
Mm-hmm. You got to be thinking of what you gonna say when the motherfucker talking.
Right.
Same thing with debate. In debate, you think of your rebuttal before that nigga get the shit out of his mouth. Same thing with comedian. You in front of a crowd and they laughing. You better have your shit lined up to come at them this way, even when the heckler come.
All right.
I've seen hecklers come and the motherfucker be so smooth until he goes in a database and pulls out some shit for this heckler ass, and the heckler was spontaneous.
Off the bat.
Right. So what happens here is you get some people, they got a time delay in their process because of a traumatic thing that happened that's been blocking. They're still there when that trauma occurred and they never developed. You see what I'm saying? They never develop. So they say this, look. I didn't start drinking. My drinking experience was a complete spiritual experience. I was fucking 39. Never drank no liquor. Used to drink a little beer in college or whatever you. But I couldn't drink it early on because I used to be a dancer. And if you get too drunk, if you get some of your equilibrium get off and you can't feel the moves. So early part of that shit, I was a dancer. Hard to believe now, but I'm saying. And the other part is but I really wasn't a drinker until 39, and it was when I was dealing with all them spirits in me. At that time, Europa, the Apollo, and all them, and I was giving them that liquor all of the first of 2000. And one night in August, they're like, motherfucker, you been feeding us this shit for 6 months. when you gonna get down with us? And I drank that fucking, it was some miles wrong at the time, and went to another level. But I did it under the music, and did that shit from August of 2000 to September 2008. Every day, every morning, non-stop, and didn't get addicted one bit. Never had an addiction. I'll tell you two things out of the curve. Number one, they tell you that the earlier you start drinking, the more easy it is for you to get addicted. See what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I didn't start till 39 or 38. You see what I'm saying? And I always did it under the music. I wait till about, it used to be 2 o'clock at night. I put on the headphones, get under the music, and I cut off the lights and listen to the music in the dark. Take 3 shots, get under the music and go to another level. Yeah. Then it started going to 3 o'clock. Couldn't go to bed till 3. Then I'd get up in the morning, take 2, 3 shots, get up under the music, and I never did it without the music. And as a result, because I never did it without the music, I couldn't get addicted because it was always in a ceremony. So there were certain other things that was getting heightened along when the liquor was making me high.
So it's like a ritual.
Right, yeah, it was certain other things that was going on chemically. You see what I'm saying? Chemically, and I never did it outside of the music. You see what I'm saying? So as a result, I never got addicted to it. And it was medicinal.
Healing.
You see what I'm saying? So, and the gods got me on that motherfuckers told me to do that. And when I stopped, for a minute, in September, I didn't have no addiction. Have never had no addiction. Why? You know why I stopped? Why? Because as I started elevating to a higher level spiritually, I out-hired the high. So I could no longer get high off of no proof of liquor.
Oh yeah?
And then I had to, so the last one, and so it got bad in January, in January when I went to a higher level, and was, you know, I was in and out of gallon bottles every 3 days. But then what happened? Then I had to offshoot it with fucking malt liquor, just to get the buzz. I had to get a malt liquor, and then the liquor just to get a buzz, and it was like, ain't no use, man. It ain't gonna happen. So I had to quit. You see what I'm saying? Because I wasn't getting. Somebody said, man, give this nigga a double shot of Patron. I said, you wasting your money, man. I said, because I've gone beyond the alcohol. I'm not even gonna get high. That's like Kool-Aid to me.
So let me ask you this: when you was taking that, is it because basically you was building up a defense because you was taking shots? You wasn't like those other alcoholics just drinking straight from the bottle, and you wasn't doing none of that type of stuff, were you?
No, I was taking the shots, but no, what it was is it didn't matter after the time. See, because I got into it on a spiritual level, and because it was a ritual and it was spiritual aspect, you see what I'm saying? I went past it, so I didn't build. You see what I'm saying? I never built up I built up I built up a high tolerance for it at first, and then I built up a tolerance that wasn't even in the orbit.
Well, now to speak for the brothers and sisters that's into the health, the Dr. Sabi, Delilah Africa, those brothers and sisters would say, how can you say something that is known to cause problems to your liver? How can you call that medicinal when it is known to cause problems to your liver and to disorient you?
Yes,
and it's a drug.
And they are right. If I wasn't doing it spiritually.
So in their perception.
No. In their perception is that they wouldn't know about the spirit world. See, the gods told me to do this shit. I didn't drink till 39. Till Legbon Bar and them told me to get with it. I did. What did I just say? If you listen closely to what I said. I said I never drank outside of the music.
You didn't say that.
Never drank in the daytime. Never. Never drank at night until 3 o'clock. So there was a dimension in which I was drinking, and there was a ritual in which I was drinking, which involved music and involved other things. Now think about this. Young people start partying and drinking at an early age, and none of them become alcoholics because they was going to clubs when they was doing it. And it was mixing with another environment. It's only when they become social drinkers after they start clubbing and start listening to the music, you see what I'm saying, they become alcoholics.
And if you, to add on to what you're saying with the ritual, if you notice, a lot of times they'll pour some of the liquors for their dead homies.
Yeah, that's one too, but look at this about this. Niggas in the army became alcoholics at the same age as the other ones was partying. Why? Because the environment was not as social as far as the party environment. You see what I'm saying? Some of them sitting around the barracks and sitting around things, and they start drinking, they come back alcoholics doing the same age thing that other people was partying years before. So the point I'm trying to make here is there's a spiritual aspect about that. There's a spiritual aspect about that. Most of those people never experienced the spirit realm, the so-called dietitians and stuff like that. You see, that's what they are. They're diet people.
Right. And
they're dealing mainly for health. But there are alternatives. Let me give you an example. They got some poison mushrooms, but if an average person take them, they'll die on the spot. Have a allergic reaction, dead in a few fucking minutes. Head swell up, throat swell up, heart bust in a few minutes. But they had shamans, spiritual men who could eat the same goddamn mushroom and pee the damn mushroom out and give it to the people in the urine they drink it, and they go to spiritual highs and don't die. But this spirit man could do that. That's what drinking the world's poison in. Remember I was talking about this thing?
Right, with Shiva.
With Shiva. Well, that's what's happening to the people. As their souls elevate, the chemtrails and stuff is not working. So the point I'm trying to make here is, I can say that, but I'm a holy man. I'm a spirit man.
Right.
I'm a spirit man. You see what I'm saying? I'm a spirit man. Right now I am eating less than most humans. But look at me.
Right.
That is because whatever I eat is being converted into fuel. You see what I'm saying? But I hardly eat. And they fixed me a big plate today. They said, that big nigga there, I know you. And they didn't realize I would only eat a third of that, what they fixed. You see what I'm saying? You see. Now, because I remember them good old days, I know how to scrap and get that bitch down. That come from don't get up from the table till you finish your food. So I just click back into that archetype and do it. But the point I'm trying to make here is, yes, they will say that. They will say that. But Dr. Africa is no kind of spirit man on the way I am.
Yeah, neither say.
This nigga will be dead if he even come close to some shit I do. That nigga be dead as fried chicken. You see what I'm saying?
Right. You're right.
You see. Like I said, I got electrocuted last year on my fucking birthday. And I was sitting there trying to see how far the electrocution could go. I said, let's see where this shit goes. But the pain got excruciating and I had to pull this shit away. But I was electrocuted. The fucking stereo system, my amplifier was stuck to my goddamn stomach.
And it's like no pain at first.
No, I was just trying to see how far I thought I was going to get amped up and turn to Superman. So I'm trying to say, but there's a difference between the spirit thing. I was giving you my experience with the liquor.
Right.
That's different than his experience with the liquor, because the simple fact they're not spiritual people. They're intellectuals and they're diet and they're geniuses on that level. More motherfucker, they ain't. If they even come close to the motherfucking spirits I deal with, their ass will burn up. Their head will explode. But to me, it's fuel.
As you say that with the Palo Viejo.
Yeah.
I noticed, like when I would drink it, spit it to do the libation, you're still gonna swallow it. I'm not a drinker.
Yeah.
You understand? But I noticed the phlegm and all that I have in the morning will automatically rise up, and I'm breathing through both nostrils.
Yeah.
So it's a healing effect.
Right.
But like what Rich just touched on. Some people can't do that.
No, they're doing it because, number one, unfortunately, most people who deal with health, their mind is always locked into what is going to harm you. So as a result, because they are focusing more on what's going to harm a person, you understand what I'm saying? They program the mind that everything they focus on is going to harm them. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So therefore they can't do it. You see what I'm saying? They can't do it. Then you got niggas that's in this diet that they done made it a religion. Which means they can say, I don't eat this, and therefore I can look at that person. You see what I'm saying? And level that person and judge that person based on what they eat, and it becomes a religion. So you got a lot of motherfuckers that's in the diet now. That's why it's beautiful. I'm glad I was a vegetarian before. For 5 years. See, otherwise I wouldn't be able to say this.
Right.
Because they would go, well, how can you say that if you've never been a vegetarian? No, I've been a goddamn vegetarian. Right. So people ask me the question, were you more spiritual when you were a vegetarian or when you got back on that Kentucky Fried Chicken? I tell them, I can't tell the difference. I can't tell the difference.
So could you also use that for the same terms with people getting into spirituality?
I'm going to be honest with you. Most people think that they got to change their diet when they get into spirituality. Majority of them, they become very extreme with it and they actually fall off the path. They actually fall off the path. They get lost in it. I think everything is a middle pillar. So I know now I can't eat certain things in excess. You see what I'm saying? Or I'm gonna pay the fucking price. That's just common sense.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? That's just common sense. But I don't need to make a theology out of diet because therefore I know that my body is advanced enough to ward off most shit.
Okay. Based on your mindset.
Based on your mindset and not on that, based on spirits.
Okay.
I have laid in the bed and motherfuckers be operating on my ass. I said I must have hurt myself. And maybe if I got up and they wasn't doing what they doing, I might be limping around this bitch. But I won't know because something done came and done heal the shit.
Hook you up.
Hook me up. You see what I'm saying? You know.
Now let me ask you, Bobby, with all this being said, you know, as far as the spirit realm and the state of black people, 2008,
yeah.
Obama,
yeah.
Where do you see our people, what do you see us doing? Where do you see us at in the next 10, 15 years? Do you see...
I see us in another reality.
Explain.
When I say another reality, I'm not talking about nothing that we see around us. We are evolving into spirit beings that might not necessarily be physical beings. It's a whole nother reality. We're coming out of the entrapment of the matrix, if you want to call it.
Third dimension.
Third dimension on into higher dimensions. You see what I'm saying? That is the goal. The goal was never to get back to a ruling state of the physical earth. If that was all it was, we would have never left that. We could have put things in place even when we went to sleep. You see what I'm saying? Would have been better than the cracker because we could have gone up into Europe and took 1,000 years and just killed them all off.
That's true.
Hell, they do it to us.
Yeah, that's true.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And we functioning beings. I know damn well we could kill a caveman off. Could have shot them like animals. They kill 80 million buffalo for the Indians not to eat. And almost extinct them for the Sioux not to eat. So I know we could have killed some cavemen. So my point here was, it wasn't about ruling civilization. We've already done that. It's about going to the next stage. You see what I'm saying? See, in learning knowledge, it is not when you find out about knowledge, it is never supposed to be based on what you want. Because your perception of what you might want might be ignorant. You see what I'm saying?
So it's not about the next Black Wall Street, you saying?
No. First of all, that's an impossibility. Even if the cracker gave you, right now, if the cracker took the stimulus, if he took the package that he just did, the bailout money, which was what?
What, 70 billion? What was
80 billion. It ended up being 800 billion.
800 billion.
Yeah. Now, if he took that 800 billion and said we're going to give that to what's left of the black race, 800 billion, we would not find utopia because we don't like each other and we'd kill each other off.
Spinning rims. Spinning rims.
Or the white man might have that bitch back in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Gotta buy spinning rims and gold teeth.
Our minds ain't right. You see what I'm saying? So that ain't gonna happen no way. You see? That's not gonna happen, and it's not supposed to happen. It's not a tragedy. We don't supposed to be hollering over blocks and Play-Doh and clay in a kindergarten room. Well, we're going to the next level.
Right.
Think about it at best. With all the money that you think this white boy got, think about it, what he has actually had. He can only produce the same shit you got in this room, just more of it.
That's it.
That's it. He ain't got, I can see if you say, I sure want to get some money so I can fly like white people. I sure want to get some money so I can disappear like white people. I sure want to get some money so I can go live up under the ocean like white people do. Or live in the earth like white people do. They ain't doing shit.
They ain't happy.
But just more DVD players, more TVs and radios,
iPods,
and Bentleys,
spinning rims.
and spinning rims. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and niggas got all that. Black people are consumers.
That's right.
Because quiet is kept, they done killed all the poor people off. Why you think they got the Mexicans here working? They got to, because they replaced the Mexicans. They replaced the black people with the Mexicans, and the black people, they killed them off during the 80s and the 90s. Millions exterminated. So all these niggas talking about what they gonna do to black people, y'all a joke. They did that to black people 10 years ago, you assholes.
So it's already
concentration camps. Shit, you ate half them niggas in them goddamn dollar burgers.
Government cheese.
You know them dollar burgers and shit? Them shit they were selling on, where you think all them niggas, where you think that shit was? They ended up in people soup and shit.
With White Castle and all that.
All that shit. Them were some good niggas. Shit.
Now, being that this isn't the ultimate experience for us, this physical realm, and being that you even called it, we can say this is like a hell for our soul. This is an entrapment of the soul. Once we leave here, now is there different levels of existence, or do we all go to the same realm where we see our mothers and our grandmothers that have passed on?
Fortunately, because of the third dimension we own, there are other dimensions that exist concurrently with this. So when this thing changes, all that disappears. There won't be no more dimensions. You see what I'm saying? Won't have no need for them. You see what I'm saying? And we'll be one. Now, if you ask me what it's going to be like, I can't tell you because it's never been done before. It's just like right now, I'm quite sure if you ask a dog what it's going to be like to be a human, he might tell you in dog terms, or when I get well with it, I'm just going to lick a lot of asses and Alpo for centuries. What's the cat food they eat? Meow mix for centuries. That's their concept. So I can't give you the concept of what the God gonna be like, because even the gods that we worship don't know, because it's different than what they are. They ain't nothing but just spirits like us. You see what I'm saying? And this shit is getting ready to be transformed even into a whole nother realm. You see, so I want to ask me how it is. I can't tell you in human terms. I would like to say, give me a fucking 100 virgins. You see what I'm saying? But if I don't have a physical body, that might not be relevant.
Right, right.
You see what I'm saying? That might be relevant. I might become a dick or a pussy for 400 years.
It just is.
Just is.
So to add on to
so I don't need a pussy if I just become one.
Right.
Or become a
right. You are what you want.
I'll just wallow in myself.
Right. So
damn, I'm good.
So let me ask you to add on to his piece. How do you explain with the not dimensions but the alternate universe? How do you get on that? Will that also? Do you have a feeling that might deteriorate?
No, because that was in a decree the whole time. All of this stuff where we having these deteriorations, evolution, devolution, all of that was nothing but the growing up or the unfolding of the ultimate universe.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
What you saying?
It was nothing but the ultimate universe going to its final maturity.
Building up.
Yeah.
Because I noticed Sliders, they used to show that movie Sliders, and he was sliding in and out of alternate, not different dimensions, but alternate worlds.
Yeah.
So, but each world was similar in some way.
Yeah. Well, that's about like it is now. They say the reason why your mama and daddy ain't trying to knock you over the head to get back over here, because they are in a world similar to the world that they left, but a lot better, because they probably don't have to do what it takes physically to get the enjoyment. You see what I'm saying? They can think it. But nevertheless, it's still a simulation or a program. It was on the Star Trek. It was on one of the Star Trek movies, Generations. That's when the Captain Kirk people took, they did their movies, and then the Star Trek Next Generation started doing their movies. Well, the first movie, Captain Kirk, before they handed it over to Captain Picard in that movie Star Trek Generations, he get thrown into an alternative universe, and he all out there in a garden and stuff. He was like, yo man, I got through into the universe of what I was when I was a child. All of this shit right here. And Captain Picard had to tell him, I know you loving it, but this shit ain't real. It's only an illusion of what you knew when you was a child. It was an illusionist of his happiness. It was what he wanted it to be. You see, so even that is an illusion and stuff, and all that has to disappear. You see what I'm saying? Because it's no longer needed for that. You see what I'm saying? Because we would have matured. That's why we've been on the lockdown like this for so many years.
Now, earlier you touched on ego. It seems as though once a person gains this star status. Now, let me use an example as like the basketball players, like a Kobe and a Shaq. Or even the speakers, like you got the master speakers, or just anybody that's a master in their field. It's hard to get masters to come together. It's often like let's use the NBA, 1 star per team, and when you start adding several stars on one team, it's always a conflict for some reason.
Kobe and Shaq.
Oh yeah, always, and that trickles down in organizations. There always has to be one person that's the head. Why isn't it that there can't be an even playing field and there can't be more than one head?
Because the demiurge, which is the ego, doesn't operate that way. It is always trying to make itself exist. It is always in the fight for existence. And sometimes its existence is predicated upon somebody else's non-existence, or somebody's level of their capacity not being the same. Then it knows. So that's why we like achievement. If everybody had the same damn thing, achievement wouldn't be fun. That's the fucked up thing about the ego.
Ooh, that's deep.
Yeah, that's real deep.
That's the fucked up thing about the ego. You see what I'm saying? You wouldn't have nothing in contrast to monitor your achievement if everybody had the same, if you had a car, if everybody this thing had a Bentley the same.
It would be like everybody could just simply breathe, right?
Then you'd have to go to another level of trying to achieve on top of that. Well, everybody in this project got a Bentley, but I got a motherfucking Air Force One.
Right. Right. You gotta top it.
You gotta top that. That's what the ego does. It's always in a perpetual fight for existence or for approval to say that I exist. And it's only an illusion. It doesn't exist at all. It can get to the point where as it can be so bad till it can even say, I need an enemy to exist. So we might love the white man for being the enemy because he makes us exist.
I get your point.
See, right now the illusion done fucked up a lot of black people with the Obama thing. Because in order for him, although the Illuminati and them, what they did is they put him in position. They took the media and they put him in a position of the media to give the people mind control to go out and vote for him. But nevertheless, white folks had to go out and vote for him because we don't, in order for him to win those states, we don't even, in half the states he won, we not even masked in.
Right.
Right now, it's done blown the illusion of some black people that say these white people ain't gonna never give us shit. Can't say that now. They done gave you
Black president.
the highest office in the land to say run us for a minute. How do you come back on that? And why would you need to if the ego didn't tell you that you need this enemy?
That's right.
You see?
So the ego main purpose is survival
It's
for
survival.
its own existence.
That's why you gotta go back and watch that movie over and over again. A Vanilla Sky.
Vanilla Sky.
You ever saw that movie?
No.
Tom Cruise. Just go watch the shit. Go watch it. That movie tells you all there is. You see.
And it breaks down everything lovely. As you mentioned that in movies, it's funny you should say that because the Sacred Life of Bees. I noticed when you said with people, they don't act on the impulses.
Get on that Jennifer Hudson thing.
You know, the impulses. They have a sister in there. And it's funny, the mothers, Queen Latifah and her sisters, they're named by the months of the year. You got April, July, June, whatever. But one of them died, and she was a twin. But she's always singing, and she like her little play. But when the stress get to her, stuff, if she just took time and think about it, she'll react to it. And then it had Jennifer Hudson come along and started nurturing her. Jennifer Hudson is the one who had the family died. Now, what do you take on that? Do you see that as a ritual or a warning to her?
At first, I was saying, well, not everything is a ritual because believe it or not, every year down in Atlanta, some nigga shoots up his family the same goddamn way. Maybe 3 times a year. You see, somebody snap, everybody in the house get killed because they was all home. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
That's like Richard Pryor said. Why did you have to kill everybody in the house? He said he was all home. But I said, well, let me stew on this shit for a couple of days. And what I did get was this. And checked it with the spirit world. Isn't it ironic that Jennifer Hudson and this whole shit went down on the heels of the election? What I got was, it was for more distraction than anything. It didn't work because this was a divine shit. You see? That's why OJ couldn't have gotten acquitted. Because if OJ would have gotten acquitted this time, them crackers say, fuck niggas, we ain't voting for Barack Obama. His ass had to swing.
Okay, I get you. So he had to take
the shit. And rightfully so. Because he didn't learn his goddamn lesson.
Right.
For years, black people, remember now, before Barack Obama, the last time we partied, was when OJ Simpson got acquitted.
You said that yesterday.
13 years.
I said that to Rich. You see Rich even confirm. I said that to him yesterday. That's right.
So the ancestors said, this nigga got in trouble this time. They say he gonna have to be the sacrifice so that energy can go to Barack Obama and white folks won't retaliate.
Right.
You know, white folks was hurt. They never got over it.
Never.
They still never got over it. And they won't get over it.
You see, they never got over it. So that nigga ass had to swing.
How much time is he doing this time?
Well, they got him on all 15 counts.
15 counts of getting back your own stuff? Gosh damn.
But they got kidnapping up in there.
Okay, so he's going away for a while. All right.
Look, even if they say we're going to give you the minimum, you see what I'm saying? Give you 15 years. And he's 60. That nigga will be 75 when he got out. But they ain't gonna give him the minimum. And you better believe this. That nigga will never see the light of day. You see what I'm saying? Because he's a big head stupid nigga that never learned that you can't beat white people at their own game and still try to go live with them.
Right.
He should have either disappeared in the black community or he should have done like Michael Jackson. Fuck America. That nigga ain't been in America since the day he got out that courtroom. That nigga got on a plane and flew to Dubai and been staying there for 4 years. Now he buying a house in England, but he ain't coming back to this bitch. Because it took him years to realize that the white man didn't love him. And I said, I need to dig deep on this shit. And it was only the other week we found out the final truth. Did Michael Jackson fuck with any of them kids? And the spirit world said, no.
They said straight up and down, no.
Straight up, no. He was just that fucking stupid to be up in the bed with him.
So now I need to shut my mouth and stop saying Michael did it. See, people, you finally got a...
I thought he did it.
He did it.
I said that nigga fucked with
the he did it too. Because he was a project of that MK Ultra type stuff.
And the spirit said no. He was a freak, but he wasn't that kind of a freak. He genuinely loved them children. He just had bad choices to know that a 40-something-year-old man shouldn't be going to bed with a person. So when he said the greatest thing you can do is give a person your bed, he meant that shit. But he's crazy as cat shit.
Yeah, and he said that he didn't sleep.
Let me tell you how I know. I'm gonna tell you something about Michael Jackson that I know. That a lot of people don't know. You remember Webster? Emmanuel Lewis?
Yeah, that was his boy.
That was his boy. Emmanuel Lewis came to Clark Atlanta College, the university down there in the 90s. He had an older brother that was about 3-4 years older than him. Came to Clark Atlanta University. That's why he chose it, because his older brother came there in 1988. In 1988, I was still up there affiliated with the school. And the guy that we used to have this house, but I used to live with the what they call the SGA president. That's the black guy that they choose for the student body, got to collect election and all that. And so he does all the stuff for the student duty. So what happened was they gave us a fucking house. And as a result, we had to go to we had to put on bow ties and shit and go to dignitary meetings with all kind of motherfuckers. Jesse Jackson. Anything that came through that school that they needed students to participate, they go to the SGA government, and because we were staying in the house, we had to get up and go do shit. Just to hobnob with the fucking elite. So we get a call from the president. Webster's brother is coming here, and we want you to take him under your wings. So he's a little freshman. We'd get him in the car, go out, go all over town, just hanging out. And that nigga used to sit up and tell us stories. He said, man, we be sitting around the pool, Webster, Emmanuel Lewis. He said, we be sitting around the pool in L.A. and Michael will come over. And Michael Jackson will come over. He said, hey, Mike. They sit all out there and shit because Michael has refuge in these young boys. And Michael will come over. And Mike be sitting around the pool and he'll say, Michael be like, God damn it, so-and-so, so-and-so, I done told you, whatever. And he stop and be talking to them.
Just like that?
Just like that. Or then he be sitting around the pool, he go, hey, oh, so-and-so, so-and-so, so-and-so. This is, I'm telling you, this guy, the brother, this was what Webster's brother, who came about 3 years earlier, was telling us about when Michael would come to their house.
Right.
I said, Mike is crazy as a motherfucker. He said, Mike be going off into other damn dimensions. Now, how I know this story, because like I said, we had to take the brother under our wing. He tell us all these damn stories about Michael Jackson. So that nigga just would go off in another damn realm on your ass in the middle of some shit and then come back
like if nothing happened.
Like nothing happened. Be crazy shit. So I can see now, and I should have put that together because I've had this information since '88 when the brother came. I should have put that together and said, wait a minute. Maybe that nigga didn't do it. Maybe he crazy enough to put them boys in the shit like that because he thinking he really Peter Pan in Never Land. And he following the goddamn movie. He got enough money to be Peter Pan. Right. He's trying to enact and role play this movie, and these motherfuckers' parents are saying money. But extortion.
I heard he was on that Michael Jackson because they found a room, a secret room of his, full of dolls and the fact that it was a secret room. What was that about?
It don't matter. It don't have no logic. If the nigga sit around the pool and go into altered states of reality on your ass.
Those is people's.
Dolls, you gotta ask that nigga that was in when he was in that altered state. He might have stayed in there too long and went and bought up some damn dolls. Even if you ask Michael Jackson, he'd be like, I don't know what the fuck you talking about because it was that other nigga. In other words, that nigga's a sybil.
Right.
He's schizophrenic, bipolar, or whatever you want to call that shit. They got all kind of names for that shit now.
He just not right.
Crazy as cat shit. So his logic is, our logic is, you a grown man, you fall that motherfucker in your bed, you fucking him. His logic is, no, I'm Peter Pan in Never Land.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
And you go watch the movie Peter Pan, maybe you might find out some real shit.
Yeah.
On what this nigga was trying to role play.
Yeah, it makes sense.
It makes sense. You see. But going back to OJ had to be sacrificed for this Obama shit. White folks were so happy they can perceive of voting for a nigga now because their nightmare was out of the way.
Which is OJ.
They got rid of a 13-year nightmare that made them hate niggas. Because I remember when OJ first got shot, them police down in Atlanta say shoot to kill. For about 2 damn years, them white police, if your ass got in some trouble, shoot to kill. You see what I'm saying?
All off of OJ shit.
All off of OJ. And that was Atlanta. God knows what fucking LAPD was doing. They probably was having nigger sandwiches. Footlongs. On wheat bread. Provolone and Swiss cheese. With some goddamn chipotle sauce. Or southwestern sauce. On a nigga's ass.
And I notice a lot of people, I'm glad you brought that up because a lot of people don't talk about how mad white people really was because
they never got over that. You gotta realize one thing about them, it was a culture shock. You see what I'm saying? They have been in Hollywood being the hero for years. Yeah. So they don't like to lose. You see what I'm saying? Look. They will lose on a team with black people on the team, but they on the team with the black people. But let it be a damn team where it's all black and all white. We gonna have some problems.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So they watched this shit for a year, and the man was clearly innocent. if you put the evidence together, he is just as innocent as if they say he was guilty.
Right.
But because they felt a certain way when them black people found him innocent, they are right. And as far as they're concerned, that's the Eurocentric thought. We are always right.
They didn't expect all of black people consciousness, because it had to be a collective consciousness to help that alone.
It did, because they got black people trapped into it for a whole year. That thing lasted damn near a whole year, or at least 8 months, and that ain't even the preliminary.
Yeah. Yeah.
So after 8 months of seeing that shit, hell yeah, you gonna have black people. I tuned in that goddamn day shit and jumped so high my head touched the ceiling. Shit.
All right, y'all.
Yeah.
About to wrap it up. Getting kind of late. Any last questions you got?
Shit, I'm in the zone now.
The guy now warming up. How you want to cut it off?
No, don't worry. You gotta get you some sleep.
Yeah.
I know. Shoot.
Anything else you want to ask Brother Joel? Anything?
Yeah. Like with certain stuff dealing with libations. I remember you had one DVD and you was talking about a certain entity, and you said one lady told you, "Don't be calling that entity name in libation. That's for straight fucking shit up."
Yeah.
You can give me the name of that?
No, I can't give you the name of that one. I haven't used that one.
You haven't used that?
I haven't used it. I haven't used it. As a matter of fact, I put it up and forgot the name. I know where to go retrieve it.
Oh, so that's why you can't give me that. All right.
Yeah.
You just forgot the name. All right.
I just put it aside. It's for total destruction. But you done gave me an idea. Shit. I might have to go back and activate that shit.
Because times is serious with all. So as he said,
and she gave it to me 4 years ago around the same election time.
Oh, so it can't be coincidence that I come and bring this back up
4 years later, when I forgot about it.
Because times is getting hard. Because as you see what's going on, I'm noticing a lot of people from what you said, a lot of people is realizing that things is getting hard. So they start to wake up.
And maybe you mentioned it as a channel for me
to go get it.
To go get it and use it.
Yeah. To help.
Maybe it's time. Maybe it's time. So all I gotta do is check with the spirit world and say, hey, what I got there, because nobody's ever mentioned that to me but you. I didn't even know I put it on the fucking tape. You see, I didn't know I put it on a tape. So obviously, and I've never heard anybody ever mention that to me.
Because I found it weird when I was watching the DVD. I'm like, nobody even bother asking this guy
and
what's the name of that?
It's interesting. I found it. I put it up, forgot where it was, and found it last summer. I know where it is. You see. I'm going to look into that. Because maybe that's something that... Wait a minute. That's something that might activate. See, total destruction can mean destroying obstacles.
Correct.
That's dealing with black people's minds. It can mean several things.
Right. It's all depends
you
on
gave me, that was a channel. Maybe you gave me my orders to look into using that shit. Because the destruction thing, and now I'm realizing it's not that it might not be in the same context of what I thought it was at the time, or what she thought it was. And what she meant is meant that it's not the time to use it now. But since you bringing it up, hey, you just, man, that's it. And that's why we talking tonight.
Right.
Everything, yeah.
Everything is everything.
Everything is everything. You got any more questions, man, before we?
Yeah, before I forget, this brother has been wanting me to ask you this for a while now.
First of all, I want to say something funny. I told him that I'm going to put it on him. I'm going to put it in the lecture tomorrow. A nigga that was riding with us today, he called himself our moon. He said, I'm going to give you a couple of questions that all my friends been asking me to tell you. So he was rattling off these questions. And the last question he said, well, I want to give you this one last question. I need to find this out. Can you tell me on the tape what you meant when you said you were shitting aliens out your ass? And I said, I ain't never made no tape or never said no shit like that. So you get that damn shit from? And then I realized somebody done heard some tape of me saying something. And said it to this person and said it to this person, and when we got to that brother, it was translated. Bobby said on the tape that he shit aliens out his ass.
I get it. The
you know, and they used to do that us in elementary school. You tell a person something at the beginning of the class, and you go through the whole class, and by the time you get down to the end of the class, it'd be something totally different.
Right.
Now all of a sudden I got a tape out where I was talking about I was shitting aliens out my ass.
And you know people gonna go look for that shit too.
I'm like, what the hell?
As you say that, oh, you wanted to ask your question.
Good.
So with the spiritual pregnancy.
Yeah, that one. Now that was real.
Now could you touch on that, because only till I heard you said it is when I really brought it to the concept, because I thought my stomach was getting not big bloated up, but I noticed in a way where it felt that only after a while it changed.
That was because I often wondered what was the significance of the earlier Buddhas are skinny.
Mm-hmm.
And then they got other kind of Buddhas around the world that's skinny. Well, how did he get to be from skinny to fat?
Right. That whole tie, which is known as the fat Buddha, which is really black.
The fat
whole
Buddha.
tie.
Right. Well, what was that? And then I had heard two stories. Then I had heard the story of, in some Buddhist teachings, they talk about how you can gain weight based on knowledge. And what happens here is your soul is dormant, it's asleep.
Mm-hmm.
Once it starts to wake up, it starts to mature. When it gets to a mature level of a fetus or a certain level of presence in your body, you become pregnant, and you're giving birth to that soul. So your soul acts just like a baby. It's called the baby in the egg, the Hippocrates. The hardest soul, which is not some person in the Middle East or somebody in Egypt. No, we are all the Heru. That light, that soul, when that soul matures, your body starts giving off pregnancy to the point where, as in this, mine started happening in 2001, early 2001. It got so bad to I actually had a baby inside me kicking. Now it's not a real baby, it's a phantom baby, but it is, your soul is going through the same metamorphosis as a woman getting pregnant. Then we hear the story of the guy in India who was 300 years old and 300 pounds. He was 100 pounds every 100 years. And he used to sleep under the ocean.
All right.
And he would come out of the ocean and be walking around naked. They would arrest him. And then he would
top the prison.
he would be on top of the prison.
Right.
On top. And they would come and get him down and lock him up. He'd be up, and then they would let him. And so they couldn't hold him there, let him go. And after a while, he would go up under the ocean and go back under the sleeping ocean.
So he come up for recruits for somebody to take over?
No, what it was is he couldn't find nobody of that particular set.
Right, to take over.
To take over that particular mystery school. And so he had to wait around until an adept was at the level could take it over, or the ship would die off. So as a result, he was at that level till he could go into the ocean. This is a true story, documented in the history of India. It's also documented in the autobiography of a yogi book.
In that story, if I'm not mistaken, isn't it something that he was chanting as well?
I don't know. It might have been. I heard it about 14 years ago, so I can't remember that particular part. It had some more to it, but that's interesting because now here's the other part that leads to that. I can understand on how he can meditate and be on top of the building, and how we got different dimensions and different things behind us. When I knew a woman about 14 years ago, a woman named Atifa, who used to be the nurse for Nina Simone. When they go on the road, they get these spiritual people. These black people used to get these people that knew everything about healing. They'll go on the road with them. Instead of hiring a doctor, they didn't have that kind of money. They would get these spiritual people.
Right.
And this woman, she was in her 50s, early 50s at the time, in 1994. And she was telling us, because she was trying to get some of my tapes to give to Nina Simone. Because Nina Simone was conscious. And so, she said that when she was a little child, she used to sneeze and disappear. And the black community would come all around and see her do this shit. They'd make her sneeze and she would disappear. Now, she said, but what had happened was somebody told her, when these white folks find out, they're going to put your ass in a circus. You're not going to belong to us no more. So she prayed to the Lord to take it away. As a result, she praying to the Lord. Prayer is you sending something to your soul to shut down.
Right.
And stuff. So my point here is, if she could sneeze and disappear, you see what I'm saying, then it's possible that this man can meditate and be on top of the jail.
Correct.
You see what I'm saying? You see. Or you could go in one pyramid in Egypt and end up in a pyramid in Mexico. Jumper. Or end up a pyramid in China. Those are ancient airports.
Something similar to Stargate.
Or the jumper.
Alright.
Or the Stargate, yeah. For the physical thing, because the jumpers are, yeah.
Alright. So on that note, with the females now, I remember seeing a lecture that you had, and I want you to touch more on it. It had a 71-year-old porn star.
Yeah.
And she was looking young, and this lady is not highly melanated, but I noticed I've seen some African ladies, and they're looking real good, but they older women. Now, could you go on the mantra as they're doing whatever they're doing? I think you were saying ooh la la or
lu That's the one where you the G string.
So it's lu
the G spot. Lu
All right, because I found it strange because with French, and I know with a lot of women and their femininity, they're always like the woman when a guy see the woman is supposed to be ooh la la. Do you think they have a connection with anything?
It might. But I do know one thing about that woman. That woman never stopped a sex life that she had when she was in her 30s or her 20s. She kept the same kind of sex life. And as a result, she stayed young. Now, I've talked about how I used to mess with this sister when I first turned 40, because I'll be 47 on November 28th of this year. But when I first turned 40, I was messing with this sister. She was 52 at the time, but she looked like she was 22. And I'm not talking about in her face. I'm talking when she take off her clothes.
So what was her secret?
Well, she said that when she was a child, or when she was a teenager, she asked God in her own way to keep her young. So she must have programmed her mind to stay young. But I do know this about her too. She was 52 at the time, and she never stopped having sex like she would and she 19. And I'm talking about I had to be on my shit.
Take your vitamins.
Had to be on my shit. And I was. But that motherfucker could roll. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
You see, that motherfucker could roll. You see. And, you know, You know, and she and you know, so my point here is she didn't change her activity when she got in her 50s to go, nah, I can't be fucking around, I'm too old, I'm gonna settle down and all that kind of shit. You see what I'm saying?
And for the men now, I notice with the men, they say to hold the ejaculation.
Yeah.
But for some men that don't hold the ejaculation, they don't know to manifest certain things. They could picture certain things to come into existence while I ejaculate. Could you touch on that, build on that a little more?
All that is a sex tantra, you know, the creative visualization. It's even more powerful when both of you all do it together. You and the partner.
Right.
You know, it's even more powerful when you do that. You see what I'm saying? On that particular level. Now the sister that I was talking about, it got to the point with us until she could just ejaculate as far as the shit just gush out.
Squirting.
And she couldn't do it when we first met. But we got into that zone and she started squirting.
So you helped enhance stuff, because you had to be on top of your game too.
On my game.
Alright.
And she, you know what I'm saying, on my game. She's more powerful than any young woman out. You see what I'm saying?
And I notice a lot of these young women too, they like to wear these nylon panties. The panties, period. You gotta constantly getting them into the key with this. You wearing all these panties. I know it sounds crazy to them being in this Western so-called civilized world.
Right.
But when you look at it in the other worlds, those other, I shouldn't say world, countries, where they don't wear the panties, you notice they're revered as the most beautiful women, the most...
That's the difference between a modern woman and an ancient woman. An ancient woman never wore underwear. You see?
So there's and because I remember you had what, it was funny when you were saying it. You was like, they gotta learn to shave it. And you was talking about King Solomon and Queen Sheba. Am I right? Queen Sheba with the riddle. With the riddle.
I can't think of the riddle offhand. I can't think of the riddle. I'm gonna learn that shit by heart.
And it's on. It was basically, you was telling this on a Love DVD. And you said the entities must have been fighting you because you bit your tongue.
Right. They didn't want that to get out that day. Then we got so sleepy we had to go to sleep. Me and Shabazz get up and start over again to get that damn thing out.
You had to go to sleep in order to?
About 30 minutes. Because I bit my tongue at first. Then we had to go to sleep. Because we got so tired doing it.
Just tired. You didn't do nothing else that day.
Sedated. And had to go to sleep about 30 minutes and get back up and finish it.
Because that's a powerful DVD.
There's two of them. There's Babylonia 1 and there's Babylonia 2. You see, what mess up is the bootleggers always change their names and they fuck up your videos. You see, it's Babylonia, the Mistress of Love and Sex. And it's Babylonia 2.
I get you.
Now the
two didn't have that name.
Yeah, the 2 one, we thought we was doing it for the female again. But it was a bunch of males in the house, and so when the females looked at it, they said that's a male's video. So one is for the woman, the first one's for the woman, and the second one for the man.
So with the one for the man, you're getting more in depth on what the man have to do?
No, we get more into, we thought we was getting going more into the female shit.
But it just turned out.
It turned out when the sisters looked at it, they said, "No, that's y'all's."
All right.
But it's bad now. It's awesome.
I get it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the tape almost running out.
Yeah.
Brother Bobby, how important is love? You know, how important is it in this day and age? As far as consciousness, as far as excelling to the next level, just as far as advancing your spirit and your soul. How
love is a gateway if you take advantage of it. If you've ever been in love. Especially a lot of males, when you first fall in love, you try to fight it. You don't like the feeling that it has over you, the power it has over you. The best thing to do is to surrender to it. You see what I'm saying? And let it consume you. Let it eat you up, and what it does is it neutralizes the ego. It's a form of melanin. It's a high form of chemicals and different things and darkens dopamine and all this type of stuff, different forms of the melanin. And so you, in order to get the full manifestation of it, you have to surrender to it. You have to just say fuck it. You know, let it beat you down like a goddamn beat you down, chain whip your ass and beat your ass down. Mm-hmm. You see. Mm. And once you do that, you get the benefit, because then you excel to another level. You see, another level. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So during love, could you say when you're in love? Because I notice when you have that love, that strong bond.
Yeah.
I like to tell people, because I can only talk from my own experience. That's when you look to manifest things. Because if you see a couple starting out and they're in love, they get the house, they get the new car,
exactly.
They get the dog, and as soon as they start falling out of love, this is what I noticed.
You're right.
They start
all that
deteriorating from them things.
That's why you got to track. You have to track love too. There's love, and then there's transcendent love. And you got to realize when it starts to transcend, it's not that you're out of love, it's just that it's going to a new level. And in all honesty, the love, when it transcends, it turns into the same love that you have, that a mother has for its child, or you have for your mother. That's what your mate is supposed to take the place of when your mother is gone. And you're supposed to be that father. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's more like that when it transcends. But a lot of times, people think it's over because they don't feel the same way they did in the initial phase of it. It's not that love is not the same. It's not that love is gone. It's just gone to another level. And a lot of people too often can't track the other level because they're more into the euphoria of the first level. They're into the high of it.
They don't know how to advance.
Right. It's supposed to go to a comfort zone.
All right.
You see what I'm saying? A comfort zone. And another reason why it gets to the point where as you don't become the object of desire because you've been around it long, because what you track that object going back to trying to open up the divine feminine in you and her trying to open up the divine masculine in her. So you become beings, you see what I'm saying, that don't necessarily need the kind of attraction or object from each other to make up. You have it in yourself. So it's the same thing what happened with me when I started going through the feminine side, started waking up my last birthday. While at the same time that started happening, my queen, because she's born on the 20th of November, I'm born on the 28th, her masculine side started opening up. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So we have the balance
of the two.
If you don't monitor it with sex.
All right.
So a lot of people, they think when the sex changes, that it's over. No, you don't supposed to have sex like goddamn Russian racehorses. Every 5 minutes when you first meet, it's new.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? When it's new, you damn near kill yourself.
Yeah.
2-3 times a day.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Now you gotta make a motherfucking appointment.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that is because it don't supposed to be that way. It's taking another level. And they're trying to get you to explore your sexuality without the sex. Or how would you ever know that you changing if you're doing the same shit that you doing, you see what I'm saying, when you started out. So it's called a transcendent love. You go into a whole nother level of this stuff. So in so many words, first of all, you merge into each other. And then when you merge into each other, what happens here is, once you merge into each other, you find out that her feminine, what is feminine in her will wake up the feminine in you, and what is masculine in you will wake up the masculine in her. Then you become one whole beings, two whole beings, like God's living in the house. So therefore, it gets to the point where as the sex is taking on another thing. You see what I'm saying? It's not an ego trip now that I got to have sex just
to define my love.
To define my love.
So
that's why you got old people that tap into the shit.
That's what I was.
And once they be together so long until when the other one dies, it ain't soon after the other one kicks the bucket.
Yeah.
Now then you will have some, because they didn't tap into it. The man will die and the woman stay around 40 years later. You see what I'm saying?
Do you believe in such thing as soulmates or people who
there's just one mystery that I found out about the soulmate. You have multiple incarnations, and you can have several soulmates.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people say, you my soulmate. So we can't leave each other. No, I could be your soulmate from another incarnation. I might have 5 other people that's my soulmate. As long as some of us been down here, I might have 1,000 soulmates.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Linda, who I'm with now, is my soulmate. But before her, it was Ginger. She was my soulmate. You see? So it just, you know.
So what about with the rituals? Because, you know, it's certain stuff you could do to fire up that passion. Could you get into some of that?
As far as the passion for...
No, just to keep stuff spicy, whatever the case may be. I know there's certain rituals and things you could do.
with your mate?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you know, you can set up that environment just by a certain altar. You know.
Have that Shiva Vadi on there.
Yeah, you're right. A certain altar that can do that. You know. That can fire up that kind of energy.
Have the Shiva Lingam.
Or what you can do also to fire up that energy is try to work on not coming. And then what happened here is when you, if you having sex with her, and you can have it for a while, and she can have her orgasm.
Mm-hmm.
But until you learn how to orgasm, you don't ejaculate. And what will happen when you don't ejaculate? And if you do this about 5 times, it's gonna be hard because some niggas be used to busting a nut. But you just get up and do it about 5 times. What will happen is your desire for her will come so fucking strong until she can feel it and you can feel it. Because what you're doing is when you don't ejaculate, you pulling out her energy. Remember now, she's the negative force, which means not negative as bad, but it's like to draw in.
Yeah, like magnetic.
Magnetic.
Right.
So whenever you get that energy from her, what will happen is the desire will be so... You can see it on short term. You have a desire for a person with your bust your nut and you don't want to be around them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So what you do is stop busting the nut and extend that shit, and that desire will come in. Pretty soon, if you do this for a while, then you'll start ejaculating. But you got to figure out what it is when you ejaculate. You see, you start ejaculating. Not ejaculating. You start orgasming, males. And once you start orgasming and stuff, you no longer have to be tired of a person because you are orgasming. You're not getting rid of, you're not depleting yourself with getting rid of your sperm.
All right.
But that's one of the major practices to keep the fire burning.
As you say that, speaking of fire, let's get into this thing about nigga. Because I noticed they want to ban the word, and I heard you talk about that.
Yeah.
But I found it strange. I was like, they've been calling this for hundreds of years. How they just want to up and ban this word?
Well, come to find out, that's impossible. You can't ban a word.
That's what I'm saying. They want to make it against, they made it against the law, if I'm not mistaken.
Nah, that shit didn't work. You can't ban speech. It didn't work. Because it goes against what the society is founded on. It's supposed to be freedom of speech.
Right.
So you can't ban the word, you see what I'm saying? They were just doing that to try to inspire people. But that cat is out of the bag and ain't never goddamn jumping back in. You see what I'm saying?
Right. Because I tell people, I say as much as I can, it raises the Kundalini energy. Mine's anyway.
Mm-hmm. The great mantra for me.
It's a great mantra for me.
It ain't never, you know. You see, especially when something, see, everything is based on principle. If a word don't mean the same as what it did 50 years ago to the people that's using it, then it fails to be derogatory. It's only derogatory to the people who remember being offended by it. See what I'm saying? Now, I have been called a nigga by white people in the 70s. You see what I'm saying? But I ain't been called a nigga by enough white people. And I done, like I said, but I done call a heap of black people niggas.
Right.
As in admiration for them.
Right. So you change up the word.
You change up the images. Change up the words. It's only relative to the time and space of what a person's when it was offensive. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
You know. But now it is in the lexicon of black speech. You see what I'm saying?
Right, right.
And, you know, I ain't about to get up off of it. Until I have the gods come through and say, Bobby, you need to quit saying that. Because that's who I align myself with. But as far as they're concerned, all this down here is an illusion. So it don't matter what I do. You see what I'm saying?
One big show for them.
Right. You see what I'm saying?
Because people will say, well, how could this person be so... Because I meet a lot of people and they be like, yo, you know so much, but man, your mouth, your
It's just like the curse words to me.
Yeah, how do you get around that?
If I can say curse words, I know I can say nigga. You know, and now since I'm shitting aliens out my ass, according to people in New York, hey, nigga, it seems a bit benign. That's lightweight.
Yeah, because a lot of people is focusing on, because you're cursing, you cannot have no type of kindness in you, no type of spirituality.
That's just programming. Especially you got a beaten by cursing at a young age. Then damn sure it's going to be up in your psyche to flinch every time you hear it. You see what I'm saying? But I grew up with Richard Pryor too. And Red Fox and then Eddie Murphy. You see what I'm saying?
They stay cursing.
Yeah, you know. And no, Rudy Ray Moore, God bless his soul, he just died. Dolomite. You see. So them was my heroes.
All right. And on that note, we gonna close out.
Yeah, but you asked me about the Jennifer Hudson. Did I get it on tape?
You did touch on that. Yeah,
it occurred around the same time, around the time of
this Obama thing.
Of the Obama going into the election.
Is it being
going into the election, and that was more of a distraction.
Yeah,
that's right.
Because if you noticed that even after he won, the heat on that left.
Yeah, automatically.
They ain't found nobody guilty yet, and that shit is gone. That's supposed to have been the talk for the next 2 months. Hell, when that girl died, and she just died. That white girl with the blonde hair. The rich girl that married the rich man was trying to get the money. Anna Nicole Smith. That shit lasted for 3 damn months.
Yeah. And they dragged it on even longer for about 6 more months just on the baby alone.
Just on the baby. So this shit ain't even finished yet, and this done cooled down too fast.
Yeah, that's a distraction.
It was meant for the time that it when it popped up. With this Obama going into the final phase of the election. You see, it didn't work.
But they still tried.
They still tried. And ironically, it happened in Chicago too.
Yeah, it happened in Chicago.
It happened in Chicago too. So that's what we got on the spirit realm.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think about the little boy? How they killed the little boy in the truck?
Well, I'm just trying to say, it's got to be more dramatic. You got to take it, if you're going to do something, you got to take it. If you want something to stick in this country, you got to go with the child. That's when it becomes a horrific murder. When you kill the children.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Otherwise, it's just a family spat.
Because I'm on the train and that's all I hear older people talking about. But that beast killed the child. And they're getting all emotional. He killed the child. So yeah, you're right.
Right. You see. That kind of thing, you know.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. We closing out. Brother Bobby, Brother Joel.
All right. right?
Another dynamite interview.
Supernova, hotter than the power of the sun.
Man.
The highest point the sun could go. That's supernova.
Oh yeah.
We'll see everybody tomorrow.
Well, I will say this, brother. You have a lot of spirit about you, man. And you know, I'm glad that you came through. And you know what I'm saying. And you know, we need that kind of spirit, because that ain't nothing but that new God for us.
Yeah.
Of what we coming to. How old are you, brother?
20. I don't even forget my age. 27. I don't think of my age.
That's ironic. That 27 is when Osiris died, which means you went to the next level. Now, ironically, with me, when I turned 27, that's when I literally died. I walked away from career and everything just for this knowledge, and didn't have an alternative. I was just sitting around in the house studying. Had a damn career up here at the Avenues of America with this Jew boy in the shoe career.
And you had nothing to fall back on. You just left it.
I just left it. You see what I'm saying? But I didn't know I was being trained for what I'm doing now until that was because I turned 28, 27. I can't remember now, but I do remember about 4 or 5 years later, the spirits came and said we had to work around the clock to get you out of your career so you can do this. You see what I'm saying? Right. So that's when I say to the people in Atlanta, said, no, nigga, you gonna do this. They chose me because it was a destiny thing. Because I didn't want to be no damn lecturer.
Right. They said it's not about what you want, it's what you need to do.
They said that was it. They heard me open for Steve Coakley one time. And even then, that was the day after the Rodney King beat down. He came to Atlanta and he wasn't ready to set up yet. He was like, yo, you're going to have to come in here and drop on some stuff I had told him in his hotel room about the Dogon. So you got to come in and put this shit together right now, because I ain't ready to go. So he needed about an hour. So I had to go up and do that. And one brother named, he was called Jesse, now his name is Emiola. He heard my voice coming to the store where they sold the tapes. A couple of months later. He said, wait a minute, I heard that voice before. You was on Steve Coakley tape. Yo, here, man. Come here, sign this shit right here. I've been trying to get with you. Sign this up. We're going to go and we're going to do this lecture on the 27th of June.
Yeah, because you do have a powerful voice. I like that and I want to get this on camera, because I'll notice my mom's or my girlfriend, whoever, they'll be there, they'll be sleeping in the next room, and I could play some dead TV show. Yeah. You know what I mean by dead.
Yeah.
Loud. They would not wake up. But I put you on and you'll be very low. My mom's girlfriend, whoever will wake up, oh, you got that too loud. I'm like, well, gosh damn, the volume is on 3. And it's your voice, especially while they sleep, in your voice.
And well, there's another thing that also too. And I realized, I said, well, why did you pick somebody from the South? They said, well, a program to say that the best preachers are from the South. See, there's a big mystery here in New York that a lot of the preachers, maybe not now, but it used to be a tradition, a lot of the preachers just would come up from the South, they would get hired. Because the people are programmed to think that the Southern preacher can preach the best. This is something different with a Northern guy talking, man, that ain't no fucking Jesus.
Right.
You gotta get that nigga, down there. You gotta get that nigga to, shit. Goddamn Pigfoot, Alabama. Right. So what happened was I went to Florida one time, and there was a brother named Ital, Rasta brother. He said, the reason why this shit has become a phenomenon with you is because you're giving all this metaphysical knowledge, but you're giving it with the voice of a Southern person, and then you're throwing in curse words for the people in the street. So it's a mix where everybody's identifying. You see what I'm saying? Everybody's identifying. You see, so I never tried to change up my voice to sound anything but that nigga from Mullen, South Carolina.
Right. You ain't try to be like all intellectual, the common
right.
intellectual.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that has something also to do with it. Because that represents humility and humbleness. When I'm giving it to you, if I'm coming with this type of voice, you don't hear people with this old country ass voice and be kind of conniving.
Right.
You see, you used to the preacher. You see, on that level. So it's a multiplicity of things on why this thing happened this particular way. Because I always ask the question, well, why did you have us grow? I was born in Los Angeles, California. And then at age 1 or 2, because she had 3 children right behind each other, a year behind each other. And then when my baby brother was born a year after me, and I was born November 28th, 1961. He was born December 5th, 1 week after the 28th, 1962. And she moved back to fucking South Carolina. And I'm like, well, why the hell we had to be raised up in this small town? Looked like Mayberry.
It was a divine intervention.
And they said to keep you humble. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
To keep you humble.
Alright, I get it.
You see what I'm saying?
So your throat chakra is basically, they bred you for that.
Right.
Your throat chakra.
Right. And I didn't even know it. I didn't even know it because I kept excelling. I was coming up here to FIT. I had a scholarship. It was this special program. I wonder if they still have it, where they picked 30 designers from around the world. I was going to run this fashion design thing. I was an artist at Benedict at the black colleges with the art degree and all this stuff here and all this stuff, fine art and stuff and commercial art. So I was going to do this thing. I was going to pick 30 designers from around the world, a specialized program. And you had to know somebody to get in. And I was the first person to get in January because the guy saw my artwork went crazy. A guy named Pritchett. And from the time that when they picked the 30 designers in June, for some reason he either left the school or got fired or something. So when my shit came up for review, if you didn't have your sponsor or the person they know, they kicked you to the curb. Right. So I didn't get in. And I'm like,
had to go back to mother.
No. I didn't never went back to mother since college. I was in college in South Carolina at Benedict, but I went to Atlanta after that.
Okay.
But I couldn't figure out, and the spirit was like, no, we fired that. We got rid of that guy. So you can go to Atlanta to meet this guy who was going to turn me on to consciousness. One of them, this guy named Maddox Moore, he was going to turn me on to consciousness.
Mm.
He was going to turn me on to consciousness. And I had to have a detour. So they directed my path. Now it's interesting because I used to sit with this guy 20 years ago in 1988, and he would go through shit. In January, I went to Chicago, because he's from Chicago, but he lives in Atlanta. In January, I went to Chicago, and I saw the nigga walking down the street. And I said, man, what the fuck you doing up here? He said, I'm working for Barack Obama. I said, oh, okay, they done got the angels around this shit.
Yeah.
20 years to the damn date.
And he's a conscious man. He's the one that put you on.
Turned me on to consciousness. I was going there, but he was the one that
set the catalyst, basically.
Set the catalyst for the shit. I surpassed him in consciousness.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? But that was his job as that angel to do that.
So he did what he had to do.
He did what he had to do. And I saw him and he said, I'm working for Barack Obama. I said, damn. Okay.
Can't be a coincidence.
And it's not like a little guy that's on the Xerox machine or something. No, he's hooked up with Jesse Jackson.
Oh, okay.
So when Barack Obama and them needed people on the campaign, Jesse will send a word saying, well, we got this nigga down in Atlanta.
All right.
And that's what he does. A mentor. And so they'll send him up there. So when I saw it, I said, okay then. You working for Barack Obama, you teaching this nigga
As you mentioned that with Jesse, and me and Rich was talking about it, and we couldn't stop laughing. How could a man be up there crying for Barack Obama after you done caught on CNN TV? At first, I think they put him to say that on purpose. He wanted to cut Obama's nuts off.
I think he was trying to redeem himself for trying to get to the public. That nigga was mashing his eyeballs, and that nigga probably had some goddamn violence. Hell, you ran for president yourself, motherfucker. It can't be that damn. I mean, I was happy, but I didn't feel like I'm gonna bawl my eyes out.
Yeah, he let the waterworks.
He was balling. He was up.
Like, come on, get the fuck out of here, nigga. Ain't you responsible? And what you in on the killing of Martin Luther King?
There you go. There you
according to the black community, indicted your ass back in '99.
There you
when
go.
they got through with the evidence on this nigga,
Steve
this nigga was
Coakley got in
guilty.
his ass. Steve Coakley got in
So
his
you gonna
ass.
tell me now you that kind of devious motherfucker that hang out with the Clintons and you see what I'm saying?
Killer Bill in them.
And stuff, right? You just gotta dig these motherfuckers that you gonna be heart touched because Barack Obama won a fucking campaign.
But did you see the passion he was saying it with when he said he wanna cut Obama's nuts off?
Yeah.
Did he say that shit?
Yeah.
On that thing.
No, he was on CNN and they showed the picture. He was on CNN and
He was
like,
on Fox.
I'm sorry.
Fox always said him.
He was Bill O'Reilly. He was with Bill. What's the other guy named with Bill O'Reilly? That be with Bill O'Reilly.
The black
Combs.
Sean
Hannity.
No, sorry,
Sean Hannity.
Combs.
Sean Hannity,
Not Bill O'Reilly.
Yeah.
Sean Hannity and Combs. And he was talking to the next man. His exact words was, he looked over and he go to the man like this. He said, yeah, you see that Obama? He talks down to black people. And then he said, I'm gonna cut his nuts off. Just like that. You could even go look it on YouTube.
He thought the mic wasn't on.
Yeah, I remember he thought the mic wasn't on, and I remember the part about it talking down.
Jesse Jackson.
But let me tell you, now that kind of nigga. So the crying was to redeem himself, because that's what. Let me tell you something about Jesse Jackson. Let me tell you something about Jesse Jackson. Because I've been in this shit. The brother, Maddox Moore, that turned me on to consciousness, traveled around the world with Jesse. Because he called himself Jesse Godson. He was one of the youngest Black Panthers. And I told him, I said, damn, man, every time I turn on the fucking TV, you downtown Atlanta up in front of some camera with some political shit. He said, that's what Jesse taught me. Always follow the cameras. Now, there's a guy down in Atlanta named Hosea Williams in the civil rights movement. Died in 2000. So they decided to give him the mule and the wagon parade like they did Martin Luther King through the streets. Jesse in the crowd with all the dignitaries, Coretta Scott King, and all the other people, John Lewis, Maynard Jackson, Andrew Young, all the big civil rights all-stars. This nigga gonna break away from the crowd of the civil rights all-stars who was behind the fucking wagon. This nigga gonna go up. They carrying the body on the little buckboard little shit.
Right.
This nigga gonna go up by the goddamn mule and walk beside the fucking mule.
Gotta be in that camera.
Gotta be in that camera, hugging the mule. I said, I was down there, my boy said, you see that shit? Jesse is beside the fucking mule. I said, look, always follow the camera. So when I saw that the other night, I said, that goddamn nigga is doing his Hollywood shit. He's showboating.
Right.
And he's trying to redeem himself. I said, he might have some Visine up in that bitch, rubbing his fucking eyeballs. Them niggas learn how to cry in Hollywood. That nigga was...
Yeah, he did better than the people in Hollywood.
Man, I didn't even see other humans out there doing the shit.
Yeah.
I see motherfuckers get choked up.
But you didn't see no
I ain't
waterworks.
seen this nigga act like somebody done killed his goddamn daughter. You see what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? Or somebody cut his nuts off.
Yeah, right. Right, it's true.
I look at that shit and my spirit say, I can pick up on whether there's a happiness. He's genuinely sincere. My spirit say, look at that bastard right there. That nigga there fronting, and he running that goddamn Hollywood con game. The con man that he was, with all that shit he did with fucking Martin Luther King.
Right.
When that nigga been doing that shit for years, when he put his hand in Martin Luther King blood and wiped it on his fucking t-shirt.
Right.
And flew. And this is the thing I know that nigga government agent. That's the most brilliant thing that he did, Steve Coakley, when he said they let one plane out of Memphis that night.
Yeah.
And out of Memphis. They locked down Memphis the night of Martin Luther King, and they let one plane out. And the plane they let out, Jesse Jackson was on it. Now, what kind of clout you got in 1968? They just killed Martin Luther King.
Right.
At that time, what kind of clout you got in 1968 to be allowed on a damn plane to get out of Memphis?
And why only you? Why no
Why
other?
only you?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Right, I see.
That nigga, man, you see what I'm saying? And so now Al Sharpton done took his place. You know that nigga tried to go down to Cuba and get Assad Shakur
Who that?
to come
Al
to
Sharpton?
come to an alternative island. I think to come to the Bahamas so the goddamn white man, the authorities, they can arrest her ass.
Oh, he tried that. But he brought Hannity. Rich was telling me, I didn't know until Rich told me.
O'Reilly.
Sorry, O'Reilly. I don't know why I mixed them up. He brought
Same
O'Reilly
practice.
To Harlem.
He said, he brought O'Reilly to Harlem and he didn't tell nobody. And O'Reilly was like, he surprised nobody was yelling at him or nothing because we didn't know you was there.
No, he didn't say that. He said worse than that. He said that he went to Harlem and black people was acting civilized.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I'm surprised. That was a good time I had, and it was just normal people having normal things. That's even worse. Because if we yell at him, we could be yelling at him for some fucked up shit he said.
Right.
But to say that we wasn't fucking up when we don't supposed to be means that that's the view he thought about us. And I'm going to go to Harlem, I don't see niggas swinging from vines and shit. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, swinging from vines. So my point here is you know, so they got, you know, like I said, but Jesse was putting on that song and dance the other night.
And he do it well. He do it real well.
Now his shit is through. That nigga look like Herman Monster up there.
Yeah, he should.
Yeah. Like goddamn fucking Frankenstein, Herman Monster up there and shit.
So, one last thing before we go on Obama, his vice president. What is your take on him? Because for some reason when I hear that name Joe Biden, it just sounds shiesty to me. Biden.
Well, it's just his name, I mean.
Because you know they say a lot is in a name though.
Yeah, but you know.
And he don't seem like he's really talking much about anything. Like he's just along for the jump on the bandwagon.
They said it was an excellent choice because of the national security shit. They said he's good on that shit. So if you're gonna get somebody that's good on the national security.
Okay.
See what I'm saying?
Right.
On that level. You see, so you know, they say he got his shit together as far as the people he put around him. You see what I'm saying on that? It worked. Them motherfuckers, because it was all about. See, white people was paranoid. You know, is he experienced enough? Well, goddamn. Now wait a minute. Hold on now. This nigga graduated from the top of his class of Harvard Law School. That's the elite shit.
Right.
By white people standards.
Mm-hmm.
And McCain graduated fifth from the bottom. And admitted in March that he didn't know nothing about the fucking economy.
Yeah, he sure did.
And yet, you wonder if damn Obama qualified. So to make ease when it came to this foreign policy thing, he had to get somebody, you see what I'm saying?
On point with it.
On point with it.
Because that's what Hillary.
That's what Biden thing is, and you gotta realize your vice president is one of the people that work with that shit.
Right. Because Hillary kept attacking Obama on that.
Right.
But when she was in New York, I didn't hear her do nothing for New York.
Right. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying?
All right. That's
Yeah, so.
Do you think they're gonna assassinate Obama?
I doubt it.
And do you think he's gonna run for next term after 4
Yeah, he
years?
will. He will. See, what it is with white folks is this. They live with the fear. It's just like anything else. They live with the fear of what they thought would happen if a black man was elected president. But, so they was thinking once he was elected, there was going to be a whole bunch of Black Panther Party people sitting up there jumping on the stage. But yet a woman walks out with her 2 children, and they juxtapose the Biden's mama sitting up there.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't nobody knocked her over the head and robbed her old 80-year-old ass. So they realized the reality set in. A lot of the shit that we learn about black people, you see, is by design. stereotypes and shit. You see what I'm saying?
She had a nice black and red dress on.
You see, so my point here is, once it set in, that hey, wait a minute. See the fear of the unknown. You see what I'm saying? It's past them now. So as time goes on and they get used to it, they're like, hey, look.
The unknown is now known.
He's just a nigga with a job.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
You see, and they figured, hell, how hard can this job be to have an idiot running for fucking 18?
Right. So you believe them skinhead things? Because when the first time when I heard it about skinheads trying to assassinate him, I said that ain't nothing but something they orchestrated to boost his career.
It's just like this, man. It's simple. You gonna always have shit on that fucking internet. Most of that shit is going on in cyberspace. You see what I'm saying?
No, I'm talking about on the news with the so-called neo-Nazis they caught. I feel that was to boost his career, to push
my point. I kind of feel like this here. If they wanted to kill him,
they would have done it.
They wouldn't have had to arrest him. They would just do it.
Yeah.
Understand what I'm saying? Why is it all of a sudden the cops can find people and shit? You know what I'm saying? But can't find a damn Bin Laden.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Because Bin Laden probably has been dead since 99.
Can't even find Tupac and Biggie killer. Come on.
Right. Come on. You know, my point here is it ain't hard to assassinate somebody. You see what I'm saying? Especially if you black. You know, so I'm just saying, man, a lot of stuff is. Now he's protected spiritually. That's the real key behind this shit. When you protect it and it's your time, there's nothing they can do. Case in point, they have assassinated Malcolm X, but they didn't assassinate Elijah Muhammad.
Right.
He was more important. You see what I'm saying?
Correct.
You know, he was more important.
And then the next thing too, they don't want to make him a martyr.
Yeah. Well, you know, Malcolm X was the voice. Most people didn't know Elijah Muhammad. Most people know the Nation of Islam through the teachings of Malcolm X.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? You know, but I'm still just saying though, they tried to poison him. Elijah Muhammad, and the poison washed right out of his body.
Just like that.
Yeah.
So it didn't have nothing where he. So with this whole thing with him messing with the children, it's nothing where he was part of the agency of America.
Who?
Elijah
Muhammad. It goes that, you know, he wasn't a part of it in the beginning, but what happened was, just like anything else, if it's a society where you get in based on blackface, they said by the time he was up there old in the late 60s and what have you, they were saying that by that time they had all kind of CIA agents and stuff that infiltrated the Nation of Islam. So you're looking at the latter half, but by that time, you know, he was on his way out. He said he knew what they was around him, but he said, you know, his job was already done. You see, but as far as, you know, the other stuff and all, you know, I doubt very seriously if they, you know, you see what I'm saying, if some of the stuff happened early on, you know. But like I said, you know, you look at what was accomplished. You know, what was accomplished.
And Jeremiah Wright.
Well, when
what do you say his stance is for now? Like, being that Obama done won, what do you think is going to come out of that?
No, I think that, I know for a fact when he went before that press club.
With Hillary, right?
Yeah, when he went before that press club, that nigga was an agent provocateur. That nigga was sabotaging. That nigga, you see the way that nigga was acting?
Rich said that too. Rich said that what day it was, that's right.
Nah, he knew at that time, this was before Hillary had lost the primary. He could have did some serious damage. They paid that nigga to go through that press club and do that damn dumb shit. Because what's the name? It didn't have to be, look. They had already run the series of all this shit over and over and over again.
Right.
Right?
Of course, a damn a tornado.
Right, so they ran this shit over and over and over again. Now, Obama was able to get up on the stage and not denounce him. He said, I can't no more denounce this man than acting my own mama, my grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
And his ratings went up. So there was no reason for him. Then he went on the Bill, whatever that show, and the PBS show, and did a great job. Jeremiah Wright.
Yeah.
So there was no reason for him to reverse all that shit and act like a fucking fool at the press club, so that Obama had to come out and denounce him. That was a sabotage. That nigga was a saboteur.
Straight up government provocateur.
That nigga was a saboteur. That nigga, when that nigga was up before that press club, that nigga was actually sit there. Because you remember now, the press club, he got to go to the press club based on one black woman that Hillary Clinton knew that had the connection to the press club.
And his people told him not to go. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah. You see. He ain't got to tell him. He know goddamn well that ain't nothing he gonna do. They gonna give him a shit. And he done talk all that shit about white people. They gonna give him a fair press club. But it wasn't even that. When the nigga got there, the nigga started acting crazy. You didn't see the motherfucker?
Yeah.
Acting all stupid.
A lot of people only talk about how crazy he was acting, and only after that I noticed Hillary, I guess it was a debate, and she drilled, and she was like, I want you to say that you're not part of him. And Obama said it, but I noticed I believe it's only after when he started acting like the fool, like you said.
He had to denounce him after that.
Because now you acting like a fool.
Yeah, so my point here, he was paid off to do that. That part, he was paid off to do that.
All right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
See, I'll be honest with you. In order for that shit not to be effective, you just simply stay out of sight.
Out of sight, out of mind. Right.
If that nigga wouldn't have surfaced on that camera, they would only had them little old clips of him.
Yeah, and they were scared to play that too much, because what happened? With the tornado and hailstorm, if I'm not mistaken.
So he ain't gonna be nothing. You see what I'm saying? All that shit is stupid. Just like Farrakhan and the rest of them. They're just a bunch of old has-beens.
Bobby Supernova.
You know, just old has-beens and shit, you know. But what is he now? He you know, this nigga, he just aligned himself with every goddamn preacher you can see.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he never aligned himself with the Afrocentric and conscious community. But he aligned himself with them old gravy head ass preachers.
That is true. You got a good point. I never looked at it like that.
That nigga shit. Look. That nigga damn Colin been fucked up ever since 91 when he first started coming down with that shit.
Jeremiah, right?
No, I'm not talking Jeremiah. Farrakhan.
Farrakhan, okay.
You don't be no spirit man and your colon fucked up like that. That means you doing some shit wrong.
He got what? Rectal cancer?
That nigga got all kind of shit up in his ass. Mm-hmm. Like the Tin Man. Pipes and tubes. And ice cubes. I don't know. But you don't, there ain't no way you a holy man and you be sick for almost 20 years.
Yeah, good point.
Now, the only reason why he's still around is because black people, they don't know the other side of the people out in the, you know, in the country, they don't know of the other side of Farrakhan. That he's been in with the man. So they keep him alive because they don't want that icon to die.
They need him, basically.
Well, no, they know that black, no, I'm not talking about white people, I'm talking about the spirit world. That's why he ain't died yet. They know it would hurt so many black people. You see, with Farrakhan. But, shit. He ain't nothing but the damn Ebenezer Baptist Church now.
Yeah. Now he talking about how he love.
Yeah, he letting white people join the Nation of Islam now.
Yeah, I know that, yeah. Well, see, that was a part of, see, he allied with, Wallace Dean Muhammad a couple of years ago. They came back together. Mm-hmm. Now Wallace Dean just died. Mm-hmm. So Wallace Dean had white people in the thing. So it makes kind of sense if he just died and he allied with him, he gonna have to bring them people up in there too.
Right.
You see, but it don't matter. He could they might as well bring white folks up in there. I mean, it ain't shit now, but you know, just a bunch of niggas standing around the corner selling fruit down there. They don't sell bean pies no more.
Right.
Motherfuckers sell apples and oranges and shit.
Incense.
And stuff. No, they ain't that sophisticated down there. Them motherfuckers sell apples and oranges
Oh,
and
yeah?
they take a fucking ice water, a bottle of water and put them in the freezer. This is in the summer and get them cold and then sell that ice water and shit. I've seen them selling carrot cake, anything they get their hands on.
So all this money is basically for the Nation of Islam?
Yeah, but I'm like I said, Farrakhan got his now. Them niggas, they're probably out there now. They trying to get their little stuff. But I'm trying to say it's a joke organization now.
It's not like what it used to be.
Yeah. All them shits is joke organizations now. You see what I'm saying? You know. Now I will say this in the defense of the Black Panther Party. Cause otherwise they ain't about shit either. But let me tell you what happened with these Negroes. I went to Philadelphia, this was when Carlet was alive, and the brother was telling us the strategy of we the people that roll in when black people get fucked up as a show of force. And back then I'm like, well that ain't nothing but just damn, you just goddamn, that ain't really doing nothing until some shit happened in Atlanta. There was a woman they killed last year, a year before last. They shot this is like an 80-year-old woman up.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
Shot this woman up. And what it is, they broke in the wrong motherfucking house.
Okay, I know what you
Shot this woman and killed her and then tried to...
Shoot themselves or something?
They shot themselves and tried to say that the 80-year-old woman was selling dope.
You gotta be kidding me.
Right.
That part I didn't hear about.
Yeah. So what happened was this. Them civil rights all-stars down there had grown so fucking old. So this shit was gonna pass. Meanwhile, about a year before, a nigga that used to come to my lectures in Cleveland, Ohio, moved down to Atlanta by himself. First that nigga was out there in that black with a bucket and by his damn self. People say he's a crazy motherfucker. Then gradually over that year, that nigga got him about maybe 12 people. 12 or 13 people, even some sisters. So they was gonna let this shit die out with this old woman. Nigga was talking shit. But they wasn't gonna do shit because the civil rights all-stars ain't gonna move no muscle. And that nigga went down there. He the kind of nigga when you see him, you turn the other way. You be like, oh man, I don't want to hear this shit this nigga talking. My bad. I'm like, oh God. Oh fuck. I had to run into this motherfucker here. He picked me up in a car one day and this nigga drive just like he told. God damn, let me get out of this shit before I be hung up on a light pole. So, this nigga crazy as hell. So, good people, but oh god damn, I'm like, oh should I run into your motherfucking crazy ass? This nigga out Carlet's Carlet. Carlet would have been running from this nigga. Okay. So he took it upon himself to do something. That nigga got them 12 or 13, maybe about 15 people. And when they had press conferences and shit, and they had some stuff, that nigga showed up. And that nigga put so much fear in them crackers' heart. So the next thing I know, I turn on the news and this nigga got a conference table and all kind of big time law enforcement and white folk, and this motherfucker here in the damn conference shit. as like a legitimate viable organization with all the fucking damn Black Panthers and shit, and them crackers was cocktailing to his ass. Yes, Mr. So-and-so. Mr. So-and-so from the Black Panther Party. And I said, that got shit done. Sometimes it's spiritual. You might not have the walk, the firepower, or whatever but that nigga put fear in them motherfuckers' heart.
With just about 15 people.
About 15 people. That nigga got them niggas together and they put on that goddamn black. And the next thing I know, that nigga was around press conferences, around a table of people. We trying to get this situation and come to a consensus. And that nigga was up in that shit with white men with ties on and law enforcement and shit, bump dancing to his ass, Mr. So-and-so. I said, that nigga was standing around the supermarket with a goddamn bucket in his hand. And they was treating that nigga like that nigga was goddamn
royalty.
The Petraeus. The General Petraeus. They was treating that nigga like he just came from the Gulf War. From Iraq. And they was around there giving concessions, and they was around there, and that motherfucker was running that shit. And it with no power whatsoever but a show of force.
That's it.
And when he got through with them motherfuckers' ass and raised hell down there, they was like, look, go find them cops and put their ass under the jail. Because we don't want this crazy motherfucker to burn down Atlanta. And I say, I knew that nigga was just running his goddamn mouth. But that shit was spiritual. And what they saw was the same thing as the fucking Green Beret or the Navy SEALs. They saw the shit.
Right.
And it was spiritual. Because nobody wasn't going to raise a hand because them niggas is all paid off and they old. They're civil rights all-star niggas.
Right.
And they was going to let this black woman go to grave. And when they got through, they locked them fucking police down in part because that nigga did. And I said, you know what? It's spiritual. I never say that them niggas won't do. Because the Nation of Islam didn't want no part of it and stuff. Because, you know, Farrakhan ain't into that shit no more.
Right.
He's a preacher. Mm-hmm. He got them selling bean pies of fruit.
Yeah.
So this nigga, he took up the slack. And his essence, like I say, man, that nigga, when I got in the car, I said, Lord, let me out this motherfucking vehicle before I be on top of somebody's store. That nigga drive a car like the rally, like the Black Panther rally. The car was moving just like them niggas be rallying.
Crazy tax.
So my point here was, I see him, I go, oh shit. I say, be real quiet. We got things. I tell her, go down the other street, Linda. Turn around, make a U-turn.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Hey! I said, oh shit. I gotta hear this goddamn shit, this crazy. But that shit, when that nigga got on the ass,
it worked.
Them fucking priests is on lockdown, partly because of him. Because when they brought the fire, they had the black community was mad, but they said, oh, in about 2 weeks they'll be mad, but they didn't have no army.
Right.
And he brought the army, and although it wasn't the kind of army that would be the real army, but it was an army in appearance.
Right.
Got 2 minutes.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So when they brought that army, when they brought that doggone army, that shit made I said, okay, that's what the brothers in Philly said. That was the plan. But this nigga made it a reality. He made it a reality. And he was the motherfucker crazy enough to think that he was gonna kill up some people.
That it could be done.
It could be done. And as a result, it was a reality in the minds. It translated in the minds of them crackers and them law enforcement. Because it was spiritual.
That's right.
And they was like, oh fuck, these niggas getting ready to get with it.
Right.
With 15 people, 3 of them motherfuckers was women. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They, oh shit, this shit get ready. This shit gonna burn.
Right.
Yeah, they was thinking this was some more Rodney King shit. And that one nigga hanging around the fucking supermarket brought that shit to that. And when they got through, when it's time for that the judge showed no mercy on them fucking cops. They were like, no, you all like to have our shit fucked up in this city. And all that shit is going to goddamn prison.
No COINTEL gonna save us on this.
I said, this is spiritual. So you can't say how shit work spiritually. I said, I'll never talk no shit about motherfucking black people's tactic if they are sincere. And this nigga here was sincere enough to believe this shit.
Right.
You see, this nigga was sincere to believe this shit beyond college.
That's all that matters.
That's all that matters. And he was sincere. It translated spiritually in them people's shit. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And not only that, he had that old woman on the side, because that bitch came to the door with a gun. And she shot at some of them motherfuckers too.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, because they broke in her house.
Okay. Right.
And she missed and they killed her. Then they shot themselves up.
So she was rolling with that energy.
That energy with him.
All right.
So I guess that's it.
Gotta be it.
Oh yeah, it's a good
30 seconds. We pulled in 4 hours, man.
Oh man, that's crazy, man. That's the way it was, man. I got that energy.
Thank you very much.
So I had to burn that shit up.
Thank you.
Peace, yo.